Morning, bitches. All right, Wednesday.
Yeah, I got pretty fun hair today.
Yeah, I washed my hair this morning, so
I will wash my hair after
deal with it.
One of the cats is in the litter box.
Yes,
you
having
can
a
hear
wee.
that.
Speaking of Britishisms.
Yeah, we decided today that we would talk about New and Old England.
Linguistic tics.
Yeah. For those that don't know, Crystal is from the New England area, and I am from the original England area. And we have been watching a lot this week, a TV show that's on Netflix called The Repair Shop. And this is a show that I originally saw a couple of years ago. My mom was very sick, and I went over to be with her, and she was watching this show. And then it just appeared on Netflix. And it's basically for fans of like Antiques Roadshow and how it's made, and to a degree, Great British Baking Show.
Yeah, except that it is not competitive.
It's not competitive at all. There's nothing competitive in it. Just if you enjoy the Britishness of that show.
And who doesn't, really?
And basically it's like a load of specialist nerds who can fix things. There's like a guy who can fix clock things. And Steve
the clock
actually
guy.
can fix anything.
Anything that has like small, intricate mechanical gears.
Yeah.
He's the guy.
Steve's sister is really good at restoring
leather work.
Yeah. There's these two ladies who only restore toys, like soft toys.
They're great. One of them is clearly a former punk.
Yeah.
She's got pink curly hair, and we spotted a tattoo on her the other day.
Mm-hmm. There's the super young guy, Will.
Oh, yeah.
Who restores furniture.
He's like
he's an anomaly.
Eager, and everybody is just taking the piss out of him all the time.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
It's hard to tell exactly how young he is. He could be as young as like 25.
Right.
He could just be a young looking 30.
Yeah.
Either way, he seems very young to be an expert furniture restorer.
Yeah.
But he's really good at what he does. And basically people bring in, it's kind of like heirlooms a lot of the time, or just things that mean a lot to them that are broken, and these people restore them. Oh, we didn't talk about the ceramics lady. Kirsten.
Glaring omission.
She's our favorite.
Yeah, she's very no-nonsense, and
I think she might actually be a secret freak.
I think she's probably the funnest one, because we were looking her up, and there was like a picture of her on some website, and I was like, oh, look at her.
Yeah.
But she's all business in the shop. She doesn't let anybody touch her stuff.
She's really good at what she does.
She's so good at it.
But the thing that's been making Crystal laugh the most, and that's not a program that's like made for laughs.
Also, I'm sure it's not just me.
Is
anybody out there that's watching this and that isn't British is undoubtedly laughing at
Well, it's making me laugh now that you've pointed it out. But it's this stoicism with which people accept their repaired goods.
Yeah.
Because the problem is you've been raised on American TV, where everybody feels like they have to play to the camera, especially if it's like a reality show.
Yeah.
So, American Antiques Roadshow is very different to British Antiques Roadshow. There's a lot more crying and freaking out. So if this was America, A, I don't think anything would be as old as it is on this.
No, that's a given. Yeah.
And B, people would be like freaking the fuck out when they get things back. And the thing is, the British people are very pleased and they're very touched to get things back, but they just talk how they normally talk.
Right.
A lot of people say that they are very chuffed.
Chuffed to bits.
Dead chuffed, someone said the other day. Have you never had chuffed before this show?
I mean, I feel like I probably have, but it just didn't register.
Yeah.
As a very distinct British thing. But
yeah, so chuffed is like
But that's like when someone is very excited. That's
no,
like
it doesn't mean excited though, chuffed.
No, but like I feel like that is one of the higher level responses of someone being like,
yeah, that is if they're chuffed, then it's exceeded their expectations.
Right.
My friend Anna started watching it after I told her about it, and she said her favorite bit is when people say, Oh my goodness, I almost cried.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
more often people were like bringing these things. It's like, oh, this was my great grandmother's music box, and I just have these memories of, listening to it and hearing it play at Christmas time or whatever. And then like, I didn't ever think it could be fixed. And then they tell this big, very emotional story about how important this object is and how they never thought they would hear it play music again. And then they come back and they do like the reveal, they fix it. But when the people come back to pick it up, it's like under a blanket. And then they're like, all right, are you ready? Are you ready to see it? Or were you sure? I mean, how do you feel? How are you feeling? And everyone says, apprehensive.
Yeah.
Everyone is cautiously optimistic about getting their
But also the whole putting it under a blanket thing, I feel like the producers have started.
Yeah.
I don't know that they were doing that every time in the first season. The producers are like, you got to make it more exciting.
Right. It's like, all right,
put it under a blanket.
Just put a blanket over
Just
it.
the same blanket every time.
Yeah, they have like 4 blankets in circulation.
Yeah.
But yeah, they'll like take the blanket off, and the person coming to pick it up was always like, all right, you did quite a nice job there. Brilliant.
Also, it's
Brilliant.
just like the entire exchange. Most of the show is them actually restoring the things. Like there's a tiny segment where you hear about whatever the thing is at the beginning. And then there's a tiny segment at the end. Again, in America, I feel like the actual renovation would be a much smaller amount. It would be much more person orientated.
I don't know, and maybe not. I mean, there are plenty of, home renovation and repair shows where like people really get into seeing the process of
the speed at the end where they're like, all right, so you've come to pick up your Victorian music box. We keep talking about music boxes because we saw one last night. There was a music box. Let's have a look at it. Oh yeah, that's really nice. Oh, that's great, thanks. And then that's the end of the scene, and they just go to something else.
Yeah.
That woman who had the big gramophone that looked like a Dalek.
Oh yeah, right.
She walked off.
Yeah,
she couldn't pick it up.
Yeah.
So they'd obviously gone like, okay, we're gonna film the bit where you say thanks and bye. She goes, anyway, thanks. Just walks away. They just awkwardly cut to the next thing. They didn't reshoot it.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Because you're not in the UK. If you stage anything that's in a reality show, you have to put a thing at the front saying some of this was staged for the cameras. So they do, like every single American reality show has that before it when it's shown in England. This is all nonsense.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's definitely brought up. Since we've been together, I've adopted a lot of Britishisms anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's cute and funny.
Well, you start saying cheeky bugger all the time.
Cheeky bugger.
And I don't think that I say it.
No, you don't.
I don't know where you picked it up from. Make it out like it's like hanging out with me. I don't call people cheeky bugger.
I don't think it's a thing that would have entered my mind to say if I hadn't been exposed to so much more British things now.
Right. But I don't, to be clear, was not throwing the phrase cheeky bugger out.
I mean, that's on you. Because it's a funny thing to call someone.
Yeah. I said something the other day that I said flippin' heck the other day.
Oh, flippin'. And you said flippin' heck.
Yeah.
And I said flippin' heck, and you said no, flippin' heck.
There's no H in it. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else you've adopted.
Well, everybody does wee-wees around here now.
Yeah. Wee-wee is so much nicer than pee.
It is. It's much nicer. It's funny and cute. That's the way that those kind of things should be.
Crystal also very, very big proponent of the word bums.
Bums.
I'm glad
because
that
it can be used in so many ways, I really appreciate when it's used as a exclamatory phrase, like something goes wrong and you say, oh, bums.
Well, my
mom
is
great.
My mom used to say, if my mom my parents, if they bang their thumb with a hammer or something in the house and they couldn't swear, my mom would go either say, oh, bum, she didn't pluralize it, or she would say, you might not want to drink when I say that, or she would say, knickers.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Knickers is one that we should maybe bring back. Knickers. She doesn't say sugar a lot. Sugar, but Knickers is the best.
That's really good. I mean, we do say knickers around here, just not like that.
No, Knickers exclusively relates to the cats.
Yeah, when they get their crazy
When they get
knickers on.
crazy, they
Yeah.
get their crazy.
That's
knickers
the
on.
British version of Zoomies.
Yeah. It's not. It's not something that we started saying. I'm trying to think of New Englandisms now.
Well, I mean, everybody knows the accent.
The
But, like-
accent and the use of the word wicked.
Yeah, and the use of the word wicked, to mean something is like very
Yeah,
whatever.
I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. Another thing that was always very prevalent in my family, and especially among my aunts, was for things to be wicked pissa.
Is that good or bad?
Oh, that is like the height of excellence.
Okay.
If something's wicked
Pizza is
pissa,
good.
it's really good. Like that was
What's
very
the root of that?
not sure.
Anyone know?
I mean,
Wicked pissa.
it's something that
Doesn't
my-
sound like it should mean good.
my auntie Ginny says a lot still.
Yeah, I can see that.
My mom also says it a lot as well. There are a lot of other things that I can't think of now that I'm sure I don't realize are specific New Englandisms
Yeah, I don't know.
or Bostonisms. I kind of feel like wicked pisser might be a very specific, like, Quincy thing.
It's entirely possible.
I don't really know. Oh, I'm still laughing about Nickus.
I'd forgotten about that until this conversation.
Oh, that's really good. Oh, it's wicked pizza.
I'm trying to think if there's anything. It's usually just an accent thing. If something makes me laugh that your family says.
I mean, it runs deep on my family side, and there are things that they say that they don't know. They don't know how good it is. They don't know.
Somebody, and I can't remember who, said something about saying some wicked good art.
Wicked good at it. That's some wicked good at
I really enjoy
And they
it.
meant it.
Yeah. It's not, to be clear, I'm not laughing with anything other than just joy.
Yeah.
There's no malice in it. I just love the accent.
I mean, I disliked it for a very long time, but I've grown to love it again.
I think that's how it goes. I mean, where I'm from in England, we're on the south coast, which is, when I was a kid, I always thought, man, I didn't have an accent, which is a stupid thing to say. Everyone has an accent. But it's very, there's not a lot of some of the regional accents have very hard edges or very specific quirks. And the south, because we're just 100 miles south of London, it's the same kind of accent. It's what would have been classed as BBC English.
Mm.
It's the accent that's deemed most understandable, I think. And I always and it's also thought of being as quite posh as a consequence because of its association with the BBC. And the South is generally the wealthier area. So when I was a fucking punk, I used to try really hard to be much more London, which is a thing a lot of people do. I've noticed there's a girl that I'm sometimes on calls with at work who is originally Welsh, and she sounds like an extra from EastEnders sometimes. She's just picked up all of these Londonisms. It depends where you live as well, because London has regional accents. But when I used to put out records under the name Naomi Hates Humans, especially the first one, yeah, it's ridiculous. I sound like someone putting on an accent.
Yeah, I mean, I also didn't realize that I had an accent until I moved away from the city
Mm-hmm.
and into another part of Massachusetts, which had its own very strange accent. And then when I moved to Rhode Island, it was a whole different story. That accent, I think Rhode Island probably has more isms than any other New England state. There is a very intense regional dialect down there.
Haven't been there.
Oh, it's
for a
incredible.
long
It's
stretch.
really good. Oh, another thing, maybe not an ism, but a way that we say things in Boston is potatoes for potatoes. That's how you say it. That's how you say it. And there was a commercial that was on a couple of years ago some like satellite TV commercial. I forget what it was, but like all of us loved it because it was very much just like a Boston family yelling at each other. And I think they said clicka a lot because that was what you call a remote control, the clicka.
Mm.
We're like, yes, that's right. Also, that Dunkin' Donuts riff commercial, that's a SNL skit with Casey Affleck as the Dunkin' Donuts guy, accurate. So anyways.
Just yelling and pooping.
Yeah, I mean, you know, he loves Dunkin'.
He loves Dunkin'.
I love Dunkin'.
She does love Dunkin'.
Every time we go to the market, which is once every 2 weeks now, I say, I really wish we could go to Dunkin'.
I mean, I don't think I had drunk Dunkin' coffee before we got together. Like, I'd been
You're
at a
welcome.
Dunkin', but I was like, oh, Dunkin' Donuts. I guess I'll get a donut. That's not what anyone's getting in Dunkin'.
No, I mean, I eat the donuts from Dunkin' Donuts, am I not lying?
I continue to respect the fact that Dunkin' brought in a Beyond Burger,
Mm-hmm.
egg and cheese, but it's still got egg and cheese. It's a vegan meat, but we're gonna put egg and cheese on
Yeah,
it.
honestly. All right.
All right, let's
do a song now. That was a fruitful discussion.
It was. I'm sure there's other things that I'm not thinking of that you or I say.
Yeah. If anybody else has things, let us know. We've left anything out. If I've made any omissions, I know there are more.
All right, this song is off the first ever. This might be the first ever Bitches song, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's definitely an early one. Because there's a couple that I did before Bitches that I just made into Bitches songs. I think this might be the first Bitches song. This song's called Shove It, and I was I suggested doing it because I thought Shove It was a Britishism, but it's perhaps not. It's just that.
Definitely heard people say that.
Yeah. So just an American asked me what it meant once, so I assumed that meant that it was British, but it's just an American that didn't know the phrase. She was like, shove it where? And I was like, I don't know. This song has a drum roll, which is very difficult to do on this.
That's what's happening here.
I'll just start.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Gonna go to the beach and I don't care what you think. Gonna go to the beach and I don't care what you think. Gonna go to the beach and I don't care what you think. Gonna go to the beach and I don't care what you think. And you can shove it. You think I give a damn what you think about it? Gonna cut my hair and I don't care if you stare. Gonna cut my hair and I don't care if you stare. Gonna cut my hair and I don't care if you stare. Gonna cut my hair and I don't care if you stare. And you can shove it. You think I give a damn what you think about it? And you can go. And you can go. And you can go. And you can go. Don't dance to the beat and I don't care what you think. Don't dance to the beat and I don't care what you think. Don't dance to the beat and I don't care what you think. Don't dance to the beat and I don't care what you think. And you can shove it. You think I give a damn what you think about it?
All right.
All right. We'll see you Friday. It's Commons Day on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
See you
got
then.
plans.
We got plans.